I support Iran dropping every single rocket in their arsenal right in the middle of Israel.
For 48 hours, the mainstream media has been selling you a war that wasn't happening. They screamed escalation, they promised you World War III, and they told you the Middle East was about to burn to the ground. But while they were hyperventilating for clicks, something very different was happening in the real world. The United States didn't panic. President Trump hasn't panicked. And the United States Navy didn't flinch. We lost 3 American service members. And I believe Donald Trump is going to get some retribution for those lives. And when faced with actual strength instead of apologies, Iran blinked. And it seems like now about 40 members of their leadership are gone. Today we're stripping the paint off of this narrative. I'm going to show you the tactical reality that the news won't cover and why their World War III prediction collapsed in record time. I'm going to show you the tactical reality the news won't cover, why their World War III prediction collapsed in record time, and we're going to talk about who financed this entire operation by Iran. Welcome to The Brief.
Over the past 36 hours, the United States and its partners have launched Operation Epic Fury, one of the largest, most complex, most overwhelming military offensives the world has ever seen. Nobody's seen anything like it. We have hit hundreds of targets in Iran, including Revolutionary Guard facilities, Iranian air defense systems. Just now it was announced that we knocked out 9 ships plus their naval building, all in a matter of literally minutes. Iran's formerly supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, is dead. This wretched and vile man had the blood of hundreds and even thousands of Americans on his hands and was responsible for the slaughter of countless thousands of innocent people all across many countries. Last night, all over Iran, the voices of the Iranian people could be heard cheering and celebrating in the streets when his death was announced. The entire military command is gone as well, and many of them want to surrender into saving their lives.
Isn't it ironic that here in the United States we have people protesting for Iran's freedom? The people in Iran are celebrating Donald Trump. They are celebrating the United States military. And we have members of our community, some ex-United States military, wishing that Iran will win to wipe out one country.
I support Iran dropping every single rocket in their arsenal right in the middle of Israel, wiping that entire country off the map. That's what I support. I don't support Iran. I don't support Israel. But of the two, I would rather see Iran wipe out Israel and watch how fast the war ends.
Because this is so much bigger than that. We're not going to go political on this, but you are 1,000% correct.
The irony is thick. The hypocrisy is insane.
They want immunity. They're calling by the thousands. Combat operations continue at this time in full force, and they will continue until all of our objectives are achieved. We have very strong objectives. They could have done something 2 weeks ago, but they just couldn't get there. Earlier today, CENTCOM shared the news that 3 U.S. military service members have been killed in action. As one nation, we grieve for the true American patriots who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our nation, even as we continue the righteous mission for which they gave their lives. We pray for the full recovery of the wounded and send our immense love and eternal gratitude to the families of the fallen. And sadly, there will likely be more. Before it ends, that's the way it is. Likely be more, but we'll do everything possible where that won't be the case. But America will avenge their deaths and deliver the most punishing blow to the terrorists who have waged war against basically civilization. They have.
Iran has been the leader, the number one sponsor of terror in the world. And sadly, part of this has been funded by the United States and by a former president. And I'm going to show you right here, right now. Now, Donald Trump went on to lay out his entire plan. Donald Trump didn't get congressional approval for this war. The last time that Congress gave approval for a war was 1942.
I'm Jake Tapper in Ohio, battleground state where we're covering the presidential contest. But let's turn to our world lead today. Continued outrage and controversy over that $400 million cash transfer to Iran by the Obama administration on the same day 4 American prisoners were released by Iran. The White House denies that the money was a ransom payment. Footage aired on Iranian television, however, purports to show the money arriving in Tehran, and that is raising renewed questions about whether this was a quid pro quo.
So Obama sends $400 million in cash to Iran on the same day 4 hostages are released. And you're saying this isn't quid pro quo? Even CNN, Jake Tapper reported on this with doubt.
CNN chief national security correspondent Jim Sciutto has been digging into the mystery. Jim, you're learning new details about how the cash was delivered?
That's right, Jake. A senior State Department official tells me that it was not a U.S. plane that delivered that cash, but these officials, the president himself, acknowledged that cash was sent, and we are now seeing what Iranian state television says what all that money in cash looked like.
A pallet loaded with what Iranian state television claims is cash sent by the U.S., the narrator says, to pay back Iran's money after 35 years. This video, which CNN cannot authenticate, aired in Iran just days after the release of 4 American prisoners. At the Pentagon Thursday, President Obama dismissed any connection between the cash payment, which he acknowledged, and the prisoners' release, saying that negotiations were entirely separate.
What did that $400 million get spent on? What kind of weapons did Iran use or pay for with that $400 million? I believe the president of the United States at that time, Barack Hussein Obama, Barris Sotero, whatever you want to call him, is directly responsible for some of the deaths that have occurred in Iran and maybe some of the deaths of these American service members, because I doubt they spent this $400 million with building affordable housing. You figure that one out and leave a comment down below.
The Iranian people, what are you hearing from them tonight? We know they're celebrating. What's the feeling?
It's an incredible dissonance that they had to choose war over a regime, but they were willing to do it. Thank you, Donald Trump. Thank you, Benjamin Netanyahu. Thank you, America. It's not death to America after they killed the leader. The Americans and the Israelis did it. It's not death to Israel and death to America. It's thank you. It's a new day dawning, but very early days. Very, very early days. So we'll have to see what comes. But it's the Iranian people that have been telling me over and over and over again, we want this. We're not regimists. We're not Islamic. I don't even say, oh my God, to my Iranian friends because they don't want God to be any part of this.
CBS had to come out and admit and show this clip that the Iranian people want this. They want to be free. They want liberty. They want what we have here in America. They want to be able to have pride parades. They want blue-haired liberals as bad as we have. But they haven't been able to have that. I spoke to a lady here on my show just a couple of nights ago, Karen in South Carolina. She was the last person out of Iran in 1978 before all those hostages were taken. That should tell you what this means to the Iranian people. And sadly, you will have Democrats here in America. You will have liberals here in the United States protesting this and saying, you know, we're white liberals. We know better. You don't deserve freedom. It's because Iran is a cash cow. It is because war is profitable. It is a money laundering machine. Think of how badly that they don't want to end the war in Ukraine. More importantly, think about how badly they want to keep that going for all the money to keep flowing. Zelensky can't get a new Bugatti every week if we shut down the war.
Kentucky, Republican Senator Rand Paul posted, the Constitution conferred the power to declare or initiate war to Congress for a reason, to make war less likely. My oath of office is to the Constitution. So with studied care, I must oppose another presidential war. So just to be clear, it doesn't concern you that President Trump is launched these strikes. I understand that he came to the so-called Gang of Eight, the leadership and members of the Intelligence Committee. But more broadly, if these strikes continue, you don't think Congress should have a role?
First of all, who does Rand Paul agree with? He doesn't even agree with Republicans. He voted against them too now. So I don't follow him, and I don't really use his kinds of insights in all of it. So what happened yesterday was incredibly successful. And now Iran was trying to acquire a nuclear bomb, and they have the kinds of missile technology that could inflict significant damage in Israel and our American forces as well too. Here we were, they refused to negotiate, they refused to change a different way forward. And now I fully support that. And now if you talk about the War Powers Act, that wasn't broken. Now, so that's the conversation that we're now. And I don't understand why we can't just say, thank God, no, we weren't lost any soldiers.
Rand Paul called out by John Fetterman. Who is Rand Paul working for? Who does he support? Who does he go against? It seems like consistently just the president. The War Powers Act, the Gang of Eight, the 8 most senior senators were briefed on this, as well as the intelligence community. I'm sorry that Rand Paul is not in the intelligence community, which makes sense. That would be a little ironic to use him and the word intelligence in the same sentence. Donald Trump has broken no laws, none. And like I said, the last time Congress approved a war, 1942. Let's not think about Korea or Vietnam, right? That's exactly what's happening. And Fetterman brings up a great point that this is all to prevent Iran from gaining control of a nuclear weapon, if they don't already have one. And if they do, I am sure that those bunkers where they are with the intelligence that we have in that community will be destroyed. The other thing I really want to discuss is what's going on here in our home soil. There are sleeper cells in our country. There are sleeper cells everywhere across the United States. And most of those individuals that was on these terror watch lists came in under the Biden administration. And now, with a little bit of conflict in Iran, they are showing their ugly heads. And it happened last night in Austin, Texas.
Digging deeper into that mass shooting in Austin, Texas with some brand new information. I had mentioned before, 3 people killed. Fox confirmed the shooter who police killed was a naturalized citizen from Senegal. Sources are now telling Fox the shooter was wearing clothing that said Allah on it, and he had on an undershirt with an Iranian flag on it. The FBI has just announced they are investigating this as a possible act of terrorism. They said maybe, probably, could be.
Maybe, probably, could be. Well, that's awful concerning, isn't it? Here's an image of this shooter, the shooter in Texas, Austin, Texas. I can't say his name. Let's just call him ND. Naturalized citizen with a shirt that says property of Allah. And that's a picture of him there. He was wearing this sweatshirt, armed. Apparently he was looking for Laura Loomer and another conservative candidate. But this is going to happen. And I believe the blood of these individuals in Austin, Texas is on Barack Obama's hands and also Joe Biden. Without a shadow of a doubt, they are to own this. The sleeper cells, there's 130 suspected Iranian terrorists here in the United States. This goes back to June of 2025 is when this article came back. Thank you, A. Muse. This is exactly what we should be worried about, and you better be on high alert because everything that's going on over there is going to come here. The more success Donald Trump has, the more the hatred rises here. And luckily, this guy is not around anymore. He can go and enjoy his goats just like Khomeini. We've got more information here. U.S. and Israel, they have a live updates here. All leaders of the Iranian regime have been killed in airstrikes, according to Israel. The entire 44 members of their war cabinet. A TV host in Australia, she does the liberals gone wild sort of videos there. She came out and said in Persian, her native language, "Burn in hell, you son of a bitch." This is her here.
This will be the shortest editorial I'll ever deliver. All I have to say is that after 47 years of Islamist tyranny, the dictator is dead and Iran is on the verge of being liberated. I never thought I would see this day in my lifetime. And I just want to conclude this editorial with this message to the late Supreme Leader. Pedar sag, khak be saret, besuz tu jahannam.
That was in her native language, "Burn in hell, you son of a bitch." And I'm sure she is speaking for a lot of women that have suffered through this Iranian regime. Hundreds of Iranian Americans filled New York City streets to celebrate the death of Ayatollah Khomeini. Reminds me very similar to what happened whenever Barack Obama came out and announced the death of Osama bin Laden. Now, I'm sure Ayatollah Khomeini will soon be on some Democrat National Convention posters and T-shirts to celebrate the martyrdom of how much hatred that he has given the Democrat Party. Guys, the Ben Dykes Show, I really appreciate you tuning in. Do not fall into the trap with these black pill doomers in the liberal news media. They are all working together for misinformation. Stay true to the United States. Don't fall in the trap. I'll see you in the next one.